Welcome to Best House Decor, where forgotten treasures find new life. Imagine turning weathered windows, rusty bikes, and chipped teacups into enchanting garden art. Today, we'll explore 20 budget-friendly DIY ideas that blend nostalgia with creativity, proving your yard can be both charming and thrifty. Let's dive in. One, rustic window herb planter. Transform an old wooden window into a charming herb planter. Insert mason jars for basil and mint, and use chalkboard paint for labels. Distressed white finish adds vintage charm, creating a rustic focal point in your garden. Enhance with galvanized metal hooks and cascading ivy. Lean the planter against a whitewashed fence, letting morning glories climb alongside. This project blends practicality and nostalgia, turning forgotten wood into a fragrant, functional masterpiece. Two, vintage chair flower stand. Repurpose a chipped wooden chair by flipping it upside down. Fill the seat hole with vibrant blooms like roses or lavender, and drape lace curtains over the back for softness. Distressed paint adds timeless appeal to this whimsical garden feature. Add a sun-bleached cushion for texture, and place near wildflowers to amplify charm. The chair becomes both decor and a statement, merging comfort with creativity in your outdoor sanctuary. Three, mason jar lanterns and planters. Hang mason jars from tree branches using wire handles. Frosted glass paint softens candlelight inside, while trailing petunias spill out. These jars double as planters by day and glowing lanterns by night, casting warm, inviting light. Mount them on a reclaimed fence for contrast. Pair with LED string lights to highlight textures, creating a magical ambience that dances with evening breezes and garden serenity. 4. Pallet garden wall. Build a vertical garden from an old pallet. Line it with landscape fabric and plant succulents or herbs. Stenciled quotes like "Grow with me" add personality, while the weathered wood brings rustic elegance to narrow spaces. Position against a brick wall for depth. Over time, creeping thyme and ivy will weave through gaps, transforming salvaged timber into a living tapestry of green and bloom. Five. Teacup bird bath. Glue a vintage teacup to a wooden post, adding a saucer on top for water. Mosaic the base with china shards for sparkle, and let lichen naturally age the stand. This delicate yet durable piece invites feathered friends to your garden. Place near hydrangeas for pops of color. The teacup's metallic sheen reflects sunlight, creating a shimmering oasis that blends artistry with nature's simple joys. 6. Ladder shelf planter. Lean an old wooden ladder against a wall and add shelves with terracotta pots. Hang macrame baskets from rungs for trailing vines. A chalkboard label like Herb Garden personalizes this tiered display of rosemary and thyme. Paint rungs in sage green and weave chicken wire between them for rustic texture. This ladder becomes a functional divider, organizing herbs while adding vertical interest to patios or borders. 7. Tin Can Wind Chimes. Paint tin cans with vintage florals and suspend them with twine. Attach bells or spoons for extra tinkle, letting breezes create soothing melodies. These chimes turn scrap metal into auditory art, swaying gently from cedar branches. Cluster them under shade trees to cast dappled shadows. Rustic edges and clinking sounds evoke nostalgia, transforming discarded cans into a sensory celebration of wind and light. 8. Antique mirror garden art. Frame an old mirror with painted twigs or salvaged molding. Lean it against a stone wall to reflect skies or blooms, creating illusions of depth. Mosaic tiles around the edges add color, while ferns soften its edges. Let climbing clematis wrap the frame over time. This mirror becomes a dynamic backdrop, blending reflection with growth for a garden that feels alive and endlessly evolving. Nine vintage book planters. Seal a waterlogged book's pages and hollow the center for succulents. Place it on a galvanized bucket labeled Floral Oasis for contrast. Clear resin protects the pages, preserving history in a lush, modern twist. Pair with lace curtains filtering sunlight. This book planter bridges past and present, turning fragile relics into thriving decor that whispers stories with every breeze. Wooden crate raised beds. Stack weathered teal crates to form tiered vegetable beds. Line them with plastic and plant basil or parsley, labeling with chalkboard tags. These mobile beds bring order to chaos, rolling easily across patios or lawns. Pair with a vintage watering can nearby. Over time, mint and chives will spill over edges, creating a lush, organized harvest that marries utility with charm. Broken china mosaic stepping stones. Embed pastel teacup shards into concrete for daisy-patterned stepping stones. Seal with epoxy to withstand rain, creating a kaleidoscope of color underfoot. These stones turn garden paths into galleries of recycled art. Surround with clover and moss for contrast. Light catches on glass fragments, transforming broken pieces into a mosaic that sparkles like jewels in the sun. 12. Galvanized bucket planters. Drill drainage holes in buckets and paint rims gold. Hang with jute rope or nestle them on a vintage dolly draped with gingham fabric. Geraniums in sunny hues make these buckets pop against neutral backdrops. Use them as movable accents. Umber paint effects and braided trims elevate utilitarian metal into chic, versatile planters that adapt to any garden style. (13) Retro bicycle planter. Mount a rusty bike on a cedar fence and attach wire baskets to hold ivy or sweet peas. Add a tiny bell to the handlebar for whimsy. This planter turns wheels into blooming sculptures, blending motion with stillness. Dress the frame with fairy lights and gingham liners. The bicycle becomes a nostalgic focal point, where petals cascade like ribbons caught in a breeze. (14) Vintage suitcase garden stool. Line a suitcase with plastic and plant thyme or oregano. Paint the exterior chalkboard finish for notes or doodles. This dual-purpose stool stores gloves while hosting herbs, merging function with charm. Top with a linen cushion for seating. Open the lid to reveal greenery, turning forgotten luggage into a conversation piece that thrives in sun-drenched corners. (15) Scrap metal silhouettes. Cut butterflies or hearts from old tin sheets and paint with Rust-Oleum. Mount on stakes among marigolds for bursts of burnt orange or turquoise. These silhouettes add industrial flair while celebrating recycled beauty. Weld bottle caps into 3D flowers for depth. Wind spins these metallic accents, creating shimmering focal points that catch light and imagination alike. 16. Colored glass bottle border. Bury necks of cobalt or amber bottles along garden beds. Sunlight refracts through glass, casting rainbow glimmers on stone paths. This border repurposes waste into a glowing, eco-friendly edge. Let moonlight highlight the glass at dusk. Wine bottles embedded in concrete become timeless markers, where utility meets artistry in every sparkling shard. "17. Rustic signage from old wood. Paint weather planks with phrases like "bloom where you're planted," using stencils. Hang with twine near veggies or flowers. Wax preserves the lettering, ensuring these messages endure seasons of growth. Pair with climbing roses and wind spinners. Each sign becomes a reminder to embrace change, blending wisdom with whimsy in spaces where nature writes its own stories. "18. Upcycled boot planters. Drill drainage holes in old boots and plant pansies or strawberries. Place them on crates or patios for playful charm. Rubber saws anchor mossy displays, turning footwear into quirky, rooted decor. Pair with a watering can nearby. Yellow boots filled with herbs or blooms become cheerful accents, where function meets nostalgia in every step. "19. Wheelbarrow flower cart. Restore a rusty wheelbarrow with mint green spray paint. Fill it with dahlias or zinnias, and add a cushioned seat inside for a whimsical bench. This cart becomes a rolling centerpiece for gatherings. Surround with hanging lobelia baskets. Push it across the yard to spotlight seasonal blooms, blending vintage utility with vibrant, ever-changing beauty." 20 Vintage Crate Birdhouse. Convert a small crate into a birdhouse with a sloped roof. Add popsicle stick porches and address plaques like 123 Bird Lane. Mount on cedar posts to invite feathered visitors. Hang twinkle lights for evening charm. Inside, blue eggs nestle safely, while the crate's weathered wood tells tales of shelter and song in every grain. From mason jar lanterns to boot planters, these projects celebrate the beauty of repurposed finds. Each idea proves that vintage charm doesn't have to come with a hefty price tag. If you loved these tips, don't forget to hit like, subscribe for more inspiration, and share your own creations in the comments. Let's make every corner of your garden a story worth telling.